Our next inductee is Frank Belmont. To present his Hall of Honor plaque is former SMSU men's basketball coach Dale Honig.
Frank Belmont was a 4-year letter winner for the Mustang men's basketball program and still ranks high in the program's all-time record book. Belmont played in 93 career games, scoring 1,103 career points while pulling down 848 career rebounds, which still stands as the school's all-time record. Belmont ranks second in school history with 9.1 rebounds per game and currently ranks ninth in school history in field goals made with 448. He was a first-team All-NIC performer as a junior and second-team All-NSIC as a senior. He led the squad in scoring during his junior and senior seasons and led the team in field goal shooting his final 3 seasons. He also set the program's single-season rebound record, a record that still stands today, with 11.2 during his sophomore season in 1972-73. Frank and his wife, Rebecca, live in Illinois.
Thank you. Before I start, I would like to thank the people who put this book together. As a person who was here 32 years ago, it's really nice to be able to review through this, and it's an excellent thing to take home. Frank Belmont. I only coached Frank 1 year. My first year was Frank's senior year. I was told before I even stepped foot on this campus that I was going to have a really good postman down inside. And I found that to be extremely true. Frank was tough, intense, and he had the skills to do something with those two things. And you can read the stats on the board. They pretty well sum up the intensity this man had and the spirit. He loved his teammates. He still follows this school. If I ever want to know anything what's going on in Southwest Minnesota State University, I make a phone call because he knows it. So I'd like to let Frank come to this and tell you his story. Thanks a lot. Did I go down? Yeah. Frank, I'd like to give this to you. It's an honor to be here today with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I am thankful, I'm honored, I'm grateful to be here. I'm also very aware of the fact that there are numerous players more talented, more deserving than myself over the years of being up here. As a matter of fact, regarding this year's team, I would feel very fortunate if they would let me carry water for them, as I've told some people. But here I am. I've often said that the fact is we had in my first 3 years here some very lean years as a basketball team, and I was very fortunate to be able to garner a tremendous amount of minutes during those years. And I was also very fortunate to be able to play against many, many second stringers from our opponent's team that allowed me to accumulate some of the numbers that I did. So I have absolutely no illusions about this. And for those reasons, I am completely humbled to be standing here in acceptance of this award today. I know that Coach Honig traveled a long way to be here to present today. And I would also like to say that those hard times ended promptly with his arrival. Might have helped just a tad that he brought Sam Leggett and Carl Harris along with him. But we had a 12-9 record my senior season, which was very gratifying, and if not for a snowstorm and Northern Intercollegiate Conference, as it was called back then, inspired trip to Bemidji on a Thursday, Michigan Tech on a Saturday, and Winona on a Monday, we might have been able to eke out 1 or 2 more wins, and we had a chance to make the NAIA playoffs that year. So as I said, that was extremely gratifying. And I would also like to mention that the next year, Coach did lead the team to the school's first NAIA playoff appearance in the history of the school. And his work here, in my mind, was legendary and will always be something that's a very important part of the university. He organized and he did this all by himself, a reunion that all of the players who completed their eligibility during his years here had an opportunity, well, and at least got the chance to live to tell about it, had the opportunity to come and meet together in the summer of 2010. And we golfed, some of us golfed, and we socialized, and we had a little bit of a dinner together, and a lot of people had the opportunity to get up and speak that night. And to a man, they mentioned the impact that Coach had on their lives, and I would like to echo that one more time here today. So, Coach, thank you very, very much. If I would have told her I was going to do this, she wouldn't be here. But I need to introduce my wife, Becky. You don't have to stand, you can just wave. The most important, significant, lovely person I've ever met. I would like to thank my supportive parents and the members of my immediate family who allowed me, at least as family goes, a relatively normal growing up period. And I also have two people who I grew up with, true friends, that I had the opportunity to participate in grade school, high school, and college basketball with. And they followed me from Waukegan, Illinois, all the way up here to Marshall, Minnesota. And the impact that they've had upon my life has been significant, and that would be Dave Workland and the late Larry Van Treek, who some of you in here will know. Sometimes it seems like yesterday I was a little lesser of hair and a little greater of hair and a little lesser of width than I am now. But Don Wilhelm, a basketball coach by the name of Don Wilhelm, and a football coach by the name of Ralph Young, a rather unlikely pair, I must say, came down to Illinois and into Indiana. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I always say Lionel Bolden was recruited on the same trip that I was. And they came down at late May, early June to see if there was any athletic fruit left to be picked off the Chicago vicinity. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of opportunities that were affordable if I wanted to continue playing basketball. So Coach Wilhelm brought with him a couple $100 in scholarship money, $15 per credit hour, as I recall, in out-of-state tuition. It might have been $15.50, but it was right around there, if you can believe that. And a promise of a work-study job, and lured me to Southwest State. He didn't tell me the work-study job was working in the dish room, but I will say, and Lionel worked there too, I will say that I was promoted to working in the food stock room, which was eminently more enjoyable during the second quarter. And the third quarter, I got to work in the old West Food Service as a short order cook. And the campus commuters and a lot of people who worked here would come in there for lunch, and they ate the burgers I flipped and the hot dogs that I cooked and all the other stuff that I would be a little hesitant to eat even to this day. And I want to mention Coach Wilhelm. I mentioned earlier that we had some rather lean years. My freshman year, we won one game. My sophomore year, we never won. And my junior year, we won 3 games. I spent almost 2 decades as a head basketball coach and 35 years as a teacher and an administrator in a variety of different Catholic and public schools over the years. And my years as a basketball coach taught me that winning is very, very difficult. But when you are a head coach and when you have your imprint on a team, losing is really, really hard. And as the years have gone by, I've really come to appreciate the dignity and the strength that Coach Wilhelm had in enduring those years, as difficult as they were. This is an affirmation business, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. And that affirmation comes from winning, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. Oftentimes sacrificing things that might be more important. And I would like to recognize the perseverance that he had and the noble manner he brought to his task, even encountering all of those difficulties. And another very, very important person to the early development of the university. When I first got here, I couldn't wait to leave. I was a long way from home, and like most kids, I couldn't wait to get away from home. And then once I got here, I couldn't wait to get back there. And I'm sure that makes me no different than a lot of young people who go away to college. But slowly and surely, a circle of friends developed. I met incredibly helpful teachers, wonderful mentors. I have to mention the fantastic, wonderful R.A. Colvin as a person who really made me feel at home and did with so many other people in my position. When I got my first teaching and coaching job at Ashby, Minnesota, town some of you may have heard of, it was one of those old single-section schools. I think it still exists up there. And 400 kids, K through 12, and I walked in and they said, "You're the head you're the head basketball coach, you're the assistant football coach, and you're the social studies department. Here's your 5 books, go to work." And obviously overwhelmed by all of that, somehow, some way, some shape, some form, I was able to make it. And I found out that I learned a lot more here during the time I was here than I ever would have imagined, because I probably was a little less reluctant to study than I at times should have been. I tried to think of a word or a term that expresses the student-athlete life and the student-athlete experience here at Southwest State. And what I finally came up with as I was thinking about this is that what the Southwest community does is it envelops you. You first identify when you get here with a team, and then there's the people in the dorms, the non-athletes, the people you develop the special bonds with, those folks over there, Rignells, Jane. And the circle just continues to grow and grow and grow. You sit in classes with people who are not athletes and have nothing to do with athletes and could care less that you have anything to do with athletics. And all of that contributes to the experience. So it becomes larger than just yourself and larger than your team. It's a school community that you develop an affinity for. And the reason that the school is successful is that the Marshall community so deeply embraces its university. I am forever thankful that I was and am a part of the Southwest Minnesota State University experience. Thank you very much.